It's Mouth Experience Monday. On this episode, JD and Dude crack open Elijah Craig barrel-proof A125 for their first taste. Find out how it gets rated on this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. Have you thought about supporting our podcast? Head on over to our website at www.bourbonhunters.com where you can by purchasing Bourbon Hunters products and sign up for our Patreon, which includes exclusive access to single barrel announcements from our private single barrel club. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another Bourbon Hunters. I am Dude Pool, and I'm joined by
JD Fritches.
We are flying, as Tyler would say, solo dolo tonight. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. But we are still going to do a blind. I've blinded? I've blinded? I don't know.
Blound?
I've blinded JD with a bourbon, and we're about to see what he thinks of it. But before we do, just a quick reminder, we have a new Patreon. There are some spots available. Those spots are kind of filling up quickly, surprisingly. I was kind of happy to see that happening. If you go to www.bourbonhunters.com, you can join our Patreon. And what that gives you is, depending on your tier, you have the ability to potentially go on a barrel pick with us for our new private barrel club, or whatever you want to call it. That's the top tier. Then below that, you have other tiers. You can get some swag from Bourbon Hunters. I know that's like a hot commodity right now. Lots of people are wanting that stuff. But join our Patreon. It's going to give you exclusive access to our announcements for when we do a barrel pick. And it'll give you the ability to jump in on the action and get one for yourself before they are gone. If you are not in the Patreon, you may not actually hear that we even did a pick. Depending on how many people join, it's going to go through Patreon first, and then whatever's left over, we might release that out to the public. We'll see. But our plan is for that to all be taken up by the Patreon members. So, all right. I've got a blind in the glass. JD, what do you think on the nose?
I like the nose. It's got some nice hints to it. Right away, I was picking up on a little bit of like a citrus note.
Okay.
I got a little like a soft cocoa and black tea note. And what really threw me though was I was picking up like a winter fresh minty note.
I don't get the mint.
I just got it subtly, like it was there and it was gone, but it hit me and it reminded me of that winter fresh gum.
Sure. You have a piece of gum in your mouth right now. Is it winter fresh?
It's summer fresh.
It's like summer teeth. Summer here, summer there.
Spice Girls?
No,
Spice Girls?
Those are Spice Girls teeth.
Yeah.
They're all different colors, and they're doing their own thing. Spice Girls teeth. I get everything you said except for the mint. I get the citrus. I get some vanilla notes. I get some caramel. I get some... it's almost like a toasted caramel, maybe. And I definitely get a little bit of wood, like maybe some tobacco and baking spice in there. There's a lot going on in this.
There's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an onion. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers.
Donkey.
Parfaits might just be... I love that movie. I don't even know why. Like, I saw that with my son when he was a youngster, and that is a great movie.
It's fantastic
for adults and kids alike.
I still laugh at the name Farquaad.
Oh yeah, that's a great. And then just there's so many adult jokes in that movie.
Oh, so many.
Like when they walk up and they see how tall the castle is, and they're like, "You think you might be trying to overcompensate for something?"
Right. It's by far Eddie Murphy's greatest voiceover job.
I'd say voiceover, yes, but multi-voice movie, go.
Clumps.
Yeah, but it's
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nutty Professor is by far his best multiple character role. His second best would be Coming to America,
and then Haunted Mansion.
But he didn't play multiple characters in that, did he?
No, he was just himself. But it was a good role.
Yeah, but multiple characters Nutty Professor, then I'd say Coming to America. Because he played multiple characters in that too.
It's funny, like earlier on in his career, he did like harder roles, like where he was like harder gangster or harder,
Yeah, I don't think he ever really played gangster.
No.
Minus the, what was the Brooklyn, was it
Beverly?
Vampire of Brooklyn? Even in Beverly Hills, I wouldn't have called him gangster. He was just kind of that wise-ass,
Yeah.
guy who grew up in Detroit. Not really gangster. I don't think I've ever really seen him play a gangster role.
Maybe I'm thinking more of like the raw comedy that he did.
I mean, Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious. He was definitely less smoothed edges at that point. Once he had kids, that all started to go away.
But then he went Family Man.
Oh yeah,
like now
but
he's
that's
just.
what I mean. Like he's got kids, and I think at a certain point you start to look at those things and think, all right, my kids have to watch the stuff I'm making, so it needs to be a little more approachable. All right, let's dive into this taste wise.
It's a great mouthfeel, mouth experience. I was
like, this is mouth experience.
I did a Brett.
Yeah, I get the citrus now on the palate that I was just kind of getting a hint of on the nose. Wow. As I was talking, more and more was happening.
I feel like there's some proof to it. Not like a lot of proof, but above 105, 107.
Okay. Yeah, this is good. It's got a lot of layers to it. But it's a great mouth experience. I think it's the viscosity is above average. I wouldn't say it's like super crazy viscous, but it's above average viscosity. It's got the nose, now that I've gone back to it, some of the citrus is popping out a little bit more for me. And I will say that I really, really enjoy the overall experience from the nose to the palate to the finish.
This is one that if I poured, I'd probably come back to it again and then a third time and just be happy with that for the night.
Yeah. So, full transparency, full disclosure.
Yeah.
This is my first time having this as well.
Wow. Okay. I'm way off with what I was originally thinking. I was getting a lot of like rare breed vibes.
Okay. I think we've done rare breed, haven't we?
Mm-mm.
We haven't?
I think we've talked about it, but never.
Oh, wow. Shoot. We should probably revisit that at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is good. What would you rate this?
This one, 3.8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right 3.75, right in that range. We've had a run of higher rated bourbons on these, and I love this blind format because I feel like we don't get biased. And obviously, if you brought it or you're the one doing the blind, you might be a little biased, but I generally, and I think everyone who brings the blind tends to stay out of it, doesn't tend to steer the conversation at all. So I feel like it's a pretty good format when we do this, but I would say 3.75 for myself too. And
nice.
While this isn't blind for me, this is the first time I've had it, so I had no idea what to expect.
You see where I kind of get rare breed out of it though, with like that citrus and that little bit of citrus orange.
Yeah, I can see that, but I think you will not be surprised to hear what this is once you know what it is. This is a family-owned distillery.
Oh, in Ohio or Kentucky?
In Kentucky.
Kentucky.
This is a semi-limited time offering that is done annually. And when I say semi-limited, it's done 3 times a year. And
Stag Jr.?
Family-owned
No,
distillery?
it's not family-owned.
It's like, I don't know.
That's Sazerac.
Yeah, that's Sazerac. We have done multiple episodes.
Elijah Craig. It's barrel proof.
Which one?
A125.
It is. Elijah Craig, barrel proof, A125. This is your first time having
Shapiro
it?
family. First time.
What do you think?
I like it.
Now that you know what it is, do you think that it kind of falls in line with that A series of Elijah Craig?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. So this is definitely a buy from me.
A124 was great.
Yeah. No, the A's generally pop out for me. The B's are the ones from me that can be really good or just okay.
Yep, same here.
And then the C's can be outstanding. I generally, I like them all. I won't lie. Even the ones that people complain about.
I'm actually more B's, more in line with the can be outstanding. I tend to really like the B.
When
batches.
the B is good, they're really good.
Like 520 was awesome.
Yeah, B520 was outstanding. B522 was also really
B522 was underappreciated.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. It was very underappreciated. I go back to that one all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what was funny is there were so many of those available that when I would go online and buy Elijah Craig bundles, the B522 was always in the bundle.
Yep.
I was like, okay. So I had like 4 of them at one point.
I had 2. I'm out completely of that one.
I think I still have 2 left, or maybe 1.5.
Nice. I paid up for mine. I got 2 at 105 a piece in Kentucky when I did get it.
Mine were probably paid up because I ended up, like one time I did a bundle with Elijah Craig 18, and it came with 2 Elijah Craig barrel proofs. They were both B522s, and then 1 single barrel Elijah Craig 94 proof.
Yep.
So that was the bundle. And then the second time, I think I just bought the B522 because of how much I enjoyed it. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining in. As always, go to Apple, iTunes, whatever podcast you're listening on. Give us a 5-star rating. If you don't, then give us some feedback. info@bourbonhunters.com. Send me an email. Give me some hints. Give me some ideas. Point us in a direction of something you want to see a review of. We will get our hands on it. We have connections. And we'll review it for you.
Leave us a review and we may read it on our podcast.
Yeah, we'll definitely read it, especially if it's making fun of our breathing and our heavy breathing and our sniffing and note-taking and all that stuff.
Yep.
If you don't like us, still give us a 5.0. It helps us get good content. It helps us get good stuff sent to us from distilleries, and it also helps us get good guests on.
Yep.
Thanks a lot. See you next week. Thank you for joining us on yet another hunt for bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening, but if you don't, leave some constructive criticism in the review so that we can better improve our show. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon. The Bourbon Hunters podcast has been craft distilled, produced, recorded, and edited by Dude Pool. For any questions, comments, or recommendations, please reach out to info@bourbonhunters.com